Right now, all of the documents that you see on here are for all of the clinics, but I don't have the specific BC Cancer ones. We're working on those separately since we have the scheduling BAs actually working on the BC Cancer cutovers. Okay, if I scroll down
And
and
this,
I don't, oh, yes, I'm sorry.
hi, it's B. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. I just wanted to say I watched your recording and it's amazing amount of information, a lot of information. I've tried to digest it best I could after just reviewing the earlier recording, and I'm thinking I'm probably missing a lot. However, I also need to jump to another meeting, but I was curious, you know, your type 1, type 2, and type 3 ways of doing cutover. Why
Yes.
and when would we do each type?
Okay. So this is where when you start working with Cutover, this is the determination. And we have a couple examples on here, but I will go through and add more examples, B, to make it a better explanation. So um, the first type 1 and type 2, those are really determined when you are at the start of the planning, and you'll reach out to the registration team, and there will be conversations that will determine, well, are we going to I'm going to use BC Cancer as my example. Will we have for BC Cancer Abbotsford, will the registration team be um, creating all of the encounters and then we'll follow them, or will registration step back from the cutover and will scheduling create both the appointments and the encounters? So that piece of it, that's a conversation that you would have at the beginning, and registration really determines that. They determine if they're going to be part of the cutover versus having scheduling handle everything.
But for what
Now,
reason? Like for what need? Do you know what I
um,
mean? Like,
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
like when would you need to have the encounter to be created first of all?
Well, the only time that you absolutely need to have the
Mm-hmm.
encounter created first is when you have the orders to scheduling cut over. So when you have
Okay.
clinicians, providers having to add information, cut over information to the patient's chart, or add orders that will power plans, for example. So chemotherapy
Mm-hmm.
is a perfect example. In that case, the encounter has to be cut over first.
Okay.
However, there's still that determination, and I believe it's just a project decision. So it's a leadership decision of whether or not registration will be part of the cutover for all of the encounters. Um, I'm trying to think. I believe VGH, if I'm remembering correctly, my apologies, everyone, but I believe VGH, we created all of the appointments and encounters ourselves, and registration did not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, from a standpoint of 1 and 2, type 1 there and type 2, that truly is a leadership, a project decision if registration is going to be assisting.
Okay.
The question you asked, though, about when an encounter must be created before the appointment, that truly goes into the different types of, is it straight ad hoc scheduling or is it
Mm.
orders to scheduling?
Okay.
Does
Well,
that make sense?
yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay. So this document again is going to be this site will be changing. Please understand, everyone, that I want to make this as in-depth as possible. As B stated, going through the training and is difficult. I'm sorry, the recording is difficult sometimes because you can't ask questions at that point. I do want to pose to Jackie and Armin, do we think it would be helpful if when the RSDQ teams begins on their next cutover, that we have a couple of calls at the beginning of it to help get everything started?
And I think, sorry, Jackie. I was just going to say, Candice, if you can take out the time from a bandwidth, I think then that would be great. And I think a call before it gets started would help set up some platform, to go forward. Jackie, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see B's put yes, please. And I was going to say, yes, I think that we would really appreciate, Candice, if you were going to, set up some calls before cutover. Deepa has already created some extracts, and he does have a couple of questions for you after you go over the information that you had wanted to display for us today.
So if I may ask, thank you, B. What I would like then to, because this call today truly is for just as a follow-up. So I'd like to get some dates, Jackie, if you don't mind, as to when you are starting, when your next cutover, the actual cutover is. And we can do that by email if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind sending me all that. Okay. So let's go ahead and I want to open it up just for questions. Let's go ahead and then it can lead us into these documents or however we need.
I do see B's got a question there for you, and I did turn on the recording. I'm recording this. I'll put it on YouTube again.
Thank you. Okay, so when do you decide to turn on work queue monitor versus why it's best not to turn it on? Okay, so for what we've done historically, B, and everyone, for work queue monitor, we actually, if we're needing work queue monitor during cutover, what we've done actually is just use during cutover, we've used the generic work queue monitor queue. We've used that during cutover, and then the actual clinic work queues are actually turned on during immediately before go live. And I think we do this because you don't want you want to be able to just when you're using work queue monitor in cutover, you're entering the information in that you want to get cut over, and you don't necessarily want outside referrals to keep coming into that queue prior to go live. So we have that generic queue, and it gets turned on, and then it's what we do is we really look at which clinics are going to need to scan and use work queue monitor during cutover, and you kind of just spread it out, and you have clinic one complete their work queue monitor referrals and work tasks with it. I'm sorry, everyone. And then you would move on to another group. That way it keeps it very clean. Does that help, B? Okay, very good. Thank you, B. What other questions do we have? Jackie, I believe you said we have some questions regarding extracts.
Yeah, Deepa, that one was for you, right?
Yeah, hi Candice.
Good morning.
Thank you for the little knowledge transfer video. Is really helpful. I noticed during the strategy you mentioned that for the extract that you request for like the planning purposes, the one you request during pre-design.
Yes.
Do you usually create a different JIRA for that and then another JIRA for the actual extracts that you'll need during cutover?
Great question. And yes, I do. Let me go ahead and pull up my OneNote very quickly. Just be a moment, everyone. I apologize. And I can show you. Oh, come on. There we go. And can everyone see my screen? I do want to make sure.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So on here, extracts. If you see, I'm just going to use the BC Cancer examples up here. You can see these first ones, identify cutover volumes. Those would be my planning extracts, my pre-planning extracts. And then here, all patient extract, delta extract, resource unavailable. Those are ones that I would be using as the actual request for the extracts to be run on however you decide a daily basis and all of that. Those are the examples of the extract request for cutover. So I have the volume ones. I usually try and put the word volume in or planning, something of that sort. And then the ones that are actually for cutover, I mark just as you can see right here.
Oh, okay, thank you. The way the CW handed over and wanted me to do it was like through one ticket, one for all of the future appointments in the clinic's location, and then one for all the future appointments in outreach. So is that's how I currently have it, but going forward, I think
Okay.
this is a better strategy. Yeah.
I like to, I'll be honest with you, personally, I like having it separate because then you can show, okay, my planning stage, my planning tasks have all been completed. I can close that extract or I'm sorry, that JIRA. And then I open up, the ones to run the actual extract during cutover. I have that separate, but that's how I've worked with it. And the IMITS teams that I have worked with, that's how we worked through it and they requested it that way. So
Yeah, I think that's a cleaner process too. But going forward, I definitely do it that way.
wonderful. What other questions? Hello, Linda. Welcome.
Looking for the mic. Hi, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions that we have? I do have more details, as I said, that even though this is quite extensive, this list, but for example, the discussions we were just having regarding the extracts and regarding the decisions around work you monitor, all of those types of little pieces I'm trying to add in as notes and everything. So this list, even though it has all the major tasks and a lot of the subtasks, there will be additional ones added in. As I said, it will be really ever changing for the next couple of months, just to where I can really solidify every task that I do during cutover. So if I can go back to here, just to explain, I just wanted to, because I didn't have this set up when we had our knowledge transfer. So again, our cutover page, you have a couple of documents. This top one, cutover checklist template, that is this document right here. So that's your first one, of course. You're going to want to start with that. And I am asking everyone to open up the document and copy it onto another Confluence page. And please not to add the information into the document on this Confluence page. We really want to make sure that this page are truly just left as the templates. And then that way everyone can just pull them, save them into another Confluence page for your project. After that, we have these are examples of the extracts, the template of the extracts that we've requested in the past, what we've had to do. Again, very important to just remember these are strictly templates. So this is a starting point, and you'll want to look at your current project, and that's why it's so important to get those preliminary extracts to you, that information, so that you can determine, well, am I missing anything from a past extract that I need to make sure that we include for an upcoming project. From there, the scheduling strategy. I did add a note here, example only, because normally with the cutover strategies, the project team will give you the actual template that they're going to ask you to use. So these are in here as examples to understand the different information you may be asked to include. But these right here may look very different or slightly different than what the project team gives you. Again, additional cutover tasks. Again, not all of these necessarily will need to be used by you. These are ones that I found very helpful for me. Again, just all templates, so save them and tweak them as you need. And then finally, these are our two reporting. These are the two documents that I use for every go live to report back to leadership during cutover as to how many the numbers that we have that we've pulled, the extracts have pulled to actually cut over, and then our status, where are we at tracking our progress. And then the bottom one is a resource support template that truly I used it for Prince George really completely. And it was so helpful for leadership. It was helpful for the site because it really allows you to put a lot of detail in as to the exact schedule of all of the clerks, your support team, and everyone, what they're working on. I kept attendance in it. So I could go back at any time and look and see who was remote, who was on which cutover strategy, who was working each week, weekends, everything. Okay, I want to open it back up again. I know we only have about 7 minutes left. Want to ask any questions from the documents that we went over during the knowledge transfer session, or if you reviewed the recording. Any questions? Okay. So in the last few minutes, Jackie, would you like to give me a quick, I will still go ahead and do this through email, but could you give me a quick breakdown of what you have coming up for cutovers?
Yeah, we've got right now we're doing UBC forensics is coming up, C&W cycle 2 and BGH cycle 2. And what are the dates for those? Those are in January, I believe. And UBC is October 22nd, and forensics, let me just, Abraham's not on. He probably remembers the exact date, but just quickly look at it here when forensic is. I think it's like 2 weeks before or a week before UBC, but I'll just, or I can send it in an email if I can't find. Of course, when you're trying to find something quickly, then you can't find it.
No, we can definitely, if you wouldn't mind, Jackie, sending it through email, that'd be great. I was just kind of looking to see what stage you are at for your upcoming projects, what stage you're at for planning cutover. So for C&W and BGH cycle 2s, when you say January, is that the go live date or is that the cutover date?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Deepa, do you have it fresh in your mind because you did those JIRA tickets?
Yeah, the cutover start date is January 8th for Children's and Women's Hospital.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe it's the same for VGH. They were going to run at the same time.
Okay. So, Jackie, if you don't mind, I hope you all don't mind, but this will help me just have just a little better understanding of what you have coming up so we can plan some meetings.
Okay.
And again, I'm here to help all of you. So, Jackie, what I'm going to do is send you an email first with a few questions about each of these. Okay.
Yeah.
That will help me plan. So for UBC and forensics, though, are all of you working on those cutovers as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're more there. They did the initial ask for the extracts, but our team is supporting being there on site and giving supporting any questions that the clerks that are doing the cutover and stuff. But it's more the site CISs that are they own their own strategy. Like we own the registration strategy right now, but it's going forward for the cycles that will, be doing the ambulatory cutovers as well, like the extracts and everything. Does that make sense?
Yes. So CNW and VGH, you will truly, your team will be truly managing the entire cutover process.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps me. Thank you very much. Then that's what we will focus on. We will focus on CNW and VGH. Of course, if you have questions about UBC forensics, I definitely want you to bring those questions. Looking at the calendar, then, have you really started jumping into planning for CNW and VGH?
Yeah, we're having weekly touch bases with the CISs and to talk about cutover. We haven't started that with VGH yet because of vacation and stuff, but it's starting this week.
Okay. And with VGH, I don't know. So what I'm wondering is, let me take a look at.
Oh, sorry.
Don't want to wait too long. Let's see. How about the first week of October? Could all of us have, our first call? And I'd like to do an hour so we could really get through a lot of information. Jackie, would you and your team be willing for that?
Yes, why don't you do it on October 2nd at 9? That's the standing meeting that we already have. And maybe what I'll do, Candace, should I just forward the meeting invite to you and change the title name?
October 2nd, is October 2nd a stat holiday?
Yes, you're right, it is. Darn
I
it.
wasn't sure if I had it right.
Yeah, no, it is.
I don't know how my Friday that week, I have a couple of validation sessions, but you can see I actually have quite a bit of time if all of you could meet on that Friday, October 6th.
Okay. I think it's better to do it the earlier.
Okay. Do we want to do an 8:30 to 9:30?
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. Good. I will send that out. And Jackie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to you. And then if you can forward it to your team.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'll go ahead and I will get that started. And then what we'll do, everyone, is we'll gauge from there. We'll gauge from that meeting. I think if we have, 2 or 3 meetings over the next month or 2 months. I'd like to, if all of you are willing. I think that will really help get everyone understanding all of the tasks and get you really set up for VGH and C&W.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. Okay.
And thank you. I'd said to Armin before the meeting that, we're so appreciative that you're taking time out of your schedule to do such a great, thorough handover for us. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so much again.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Cutover has always been a passion of mine, so I want to see everyone succeed and have an easy transition with it. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much. And I will send this invite right now, Jackie, and I look forward to talking with all of you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Candace. Bye.
Thank you.
Candace.